Welcome back to WION World is One. We are glad you're watching. We begin with some breaking news coming in from West Asia. Hamas top leadership have been attacked. The attack took place in Doha. The Hamas team was engaged in negotiations with other officials in the Qatari capital. Moments after the news of explosion in Doha came, the Israeli military announced that it has carried out attacks targeting Hamas's leadership. In a statement, the IDF says that prior to the strike, steps were taken to minimize harm to uninvolved civilians, including the use of precision weaponry and additional intelligence information. Now, the statement does not explicitly mention Qatar, but comes following reports of large explosions in Doha, where Hamas's top leadership resides. Israeli officials says that the US was notified before Hamas leaders were struck. Now, Qatar says this attack is a flagrant violation to all international law. Israel's far-right finance minister Bezalel Smotrich praised the targeting of Hamas leaders after Qatar said an Israeli strike targeted residential buildings housing members of the Palestinian militant group in Doha. Most of Hamas's leadership in Gaza has been killed in the war that began on October 7, 2023, while the militant group's political leadership abroad has mostly been untouched. The US Embassy in Qatar told citizens to take shelter. This is a statement that was issued by the US Embassy. I'll just read it to you. It told its citizens to shelter in place after Doha said Israeli strikes targeted Hamas officials in the capital Doha. The statement on X reads, "We have seen reports of missile strikes occurring in Doha. The US Embassy has instituted a shelter-in-place order for their facilities. US citizens are advised to take shelter in place." This is the latest coming in from Doha. And the Israel finance minister, I read his statement, which he wrote on X. "Terrorists have no immunity and will never have immunity from Israel's long arm anywhere in the world." This is Israel's far-right finance minister Bezalel Smotrich, who praised the targeting of Hamas leaders after Qatar said an Israeli strike targeted residential buildings housing members of the Palestinian militant group in Doha. And there are reports that al-Arouri, who was the deputy head of Hamas in Gaza, has been killed in Doha. So who was al-Arouri? Al-Arouri was born in Gaza in 1960. He studied Arabic at the Islamic University of Gaza, later becoming a lecturer before joining Hamas as a founding member. He rose to Hamas's political bureau. He was elected to the Palestinian Legislative Council in 2006 and later became Yahya Sinwar's deputy in Gaza. Al-Arouri played a key role in ceasefire and prisoner swap negotiations with Egypt and Qatar and survived multiple assassination attempts. We earlier spoke to West Asia analyst Omer, who joined us from Turkey. This is what he told us.
It doesn't go align with the Israeli strategy. So if it's on one side, the Israeli strategy to kill Hamas figures or to do something else, these Arab states, they now know and have seen that the US will not be there to protect them and prevent Israel from attacking their sovereignty and their territory. And furthermore, this also signals something more troubling. We also know that there are Hamas officials in Egypt. So will Israel also target eventually Egypt and the Hamas figures inside Egypt who were also part of the negotiations? And secondly, under an agreement signed years ago between Israel and Hamas, some Hamas figures were evacuated from Gaza to Turkey. So will Israel eventually try to attack Hamas figures inside Turkey as well? So everyone is now quite worried about the unlimited and apparently unending potential of Israel to do whatever it wants, wherever it wants, and with American blessings and American support. Because we know as of now that the Israeli side has informed the United States of America before its attack and got an American green light. Because in Doha, we have the biggest US military base in the region and maybe overseas of the United States of America. And the US has all of these capable systems to know the Israelis are going to attack before the Israelis are going to attack. And they could prevent this if they wanted to, but apparently they did decide not to protect Qatar's sovereignty as they initially signed under the agreement they signed with Qatar, but to protect Israeli strategy. So this is quite disturbing for the regional states and quite worrying for any other state in the region except for Israel.